Well, you run a YouTube channel that paints video games. Sooner or later, you're going to have to paint some pixel art. Hey guys, welcome to Play Then Paint, where we play a game and then paint an oil painting based on that game. Today we're diving into Stardew Valley. I'm fighting some slime, watering some beans, and taking mushrooms with a weird guy who lives in a tower. I think I can smell colours. Then we're heading to the easel to paint my Stardew character in a style that's completely new to me, pixel art. So let's get into it. So I started the game, figured hey, a farming sim, it's nice and chill, and almost straight away I get hit with the crushing weight of late stage capitalism. Now I feel all sad and shit. But our hero, she's called Daisy because we're farmers and I'm all for stereotypes, heads out of the big city and into Stardew Valley to take over her grandfather's farm, and this is where we hit the gameplay loop. Get out of bed, water some plants, have a little wander around, do a little shopping, talk to the locals, and head into a cave to punch some slime and gather some copper ore. And you know what? It's weirdly addictive. It has a sense of routine with tangible results. All that hard work pays off, unlike real life. Now I'm all sad again. But I got crops to farm and a dog to... well, he just sort of sits there and barks occasionally, but the company's nice. And villagers to get to know, like Robin, who just leaves axes laying around. And the guy who runs the show leaf. But 2,000 gold for a backpack. Hang on, why is everything so expensive? It seems Stardew Valley has some serious inflation issues. No wonder the granddad skedaddled. How can anyone live in this countryside when the prices are through the roof? I'm the only person who buys from this shop. How is it still open? No wonder the library's constantly begging me for stuff. Cost of living crisis aside, I'm enjoying my time in Stardew Valley. There's a catharsis to be found in watering plants and then selling them off for extortionate prices. Selling 8 potatoes will net you the GDP of a small nation. This economy is on its knees, and it's kind of fun to delve into the mine and see what I can find, pushing a little further each time and filling up my ridiculously expensive backpack with slime, goo and ore. No idea what I use the slime for, but I have a healthy stack of it back at the farm. And there's an impetus there to play an hour or two, expand my farm a bit and see if I can find some damn leaks for the acid flashbacks that live in the community centre. Or just mill about and hack some grass and chop some wood. You can see why the game sold an insane amount of copies. It's addictive, relaxing, and a testament to what a single death with passion and a dream can do. Well, I'm inspired. Let's head to the easel and try out a style of painting that is so far out of my comfort zone it's on a different planet. Dog, brush. No, you just sit there, don't you? Draining my resources. And in this economy. So I scratched my head for a while, trying to figure out how I was going to get that pixel effect. I grabbed a screenshot of my character and tried sketching it, but I couldn't crack that square look. I think there was way too many straight lines for me to freehand it. So I figured, as it's a bunch of squares, let's grid it all up. We'll grid up the reference image of my character, grid up a piece of paper, and essentially just make the image from a bunch of squares. And this is what I came up with. It took like 3 hours, and I don't think I've ever used a ruler so much in my life. Now to transfer it over to the canvas with the same grid method. Right, we're ready to go. Let's get a palette sorted. Looking at the reference, it looks like every colour, apart from the eye and the t-shirt, is a variation of orange. So we're using white, cadmium red, ultramarine, yellow ochre, and burnt umber. We're going to mix an orange with yellow ochre and red, and then we're just going to mix out from there, with darker versions writing burnt umber and a touch of ultramarine, and lighter versions we're just going to add white, and that's mainly for the skin. And we should end up with a palette that looks something like this. Okay, we're starting with that dark, burnt orange brown outline. It's a bit like a paint by numbers, or at least it reminds me of painting something like that. Just nice block colours in predefined places. The trick is trying to keep those lines crisp, which is always a pain when you're painting with something that's essentially the consistency of toothpaste. We're making good time though, the outline's in and we're ready to start the hair. So using the next shade up, the sort of not so dark orange, we're adding in all the shadow tones. We're working dark to light with this one, mainly so that if we end up with ragged lines, we can cut into it with a lighter tone and try and tidy them up. Now they're all in, we can just block in the orange hair. Much like the game itself, there's something therapeutic about just blocking in these colours. You don't have to concentrate too much. Just let the brush do its work while you listen to some music on your headphones. I can see why people use colouring books to relax. Now for the face, we're taking our skin tone and mixing a little bit of that shadow tone we used for the hair to darken it down a bit. Today's tip, using all one colour to make up the painting adds a sort of nice sense of continuity to it all. You'll see it a lot in paintings. A limited palette where a small amount of colours are used to mix every colour for the painting. A great example is Anders Zorn. You'll sometimes hear artists refer to the Zorn palette because Anders Zorn was a master at using a few colours really, really well. In this one, for example, most of the painting is just variations of that yellow beige colour. They don't call them the old masters for nothing. Back to our pixel art, and we've blocked in all the shadow skin tone, and then we block in all the lighter tone, and it's all starting to come together. This pixel art is pretty nice to paint. I'm enjoying it. Now to the eye, I'm using just pure white straight out the tube and being as careful as I can not to pick up any colours that are around the eye. I don't want to taint the white with anything. Then the block of black for the eye, which is just ultramarine mixed with cadmium red. It's essentially just a very, very dark purple. And we'll use that same tone for the t-shirt. I'm putting in all the outlines first, just so we can hopefully keep those lines nice and tight before we block in all the rest. Now it's all in, all that's left to do is sign it. And that's the finished piece, my first foray into pixel art, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now excuse me, I've got some beans to water. Thanks for watching guys, and if you enjoyed this mashup of pixels and paint, or sort of pixels and pixels this time, consider subscribing, and let me know what I should play then paint next in the comments below. Until next time, farewell.